Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint. We're doing another deep dive today.
That's right.
And this one is particularly interesting for all you American retirees out there.
Yes, it is.
We're going to be talking about gold IRAs.
Absolutely.
Now, we're going pretty deep on this one.
Yeah,
We've got an expert analysis of advanced tax strategies,
that's right.
the kind of stuff that people with seven-figure portfolios are using to make their retirement even better.
Exactly. And we'll be uncovering some pretty fascinating strategies that can really protect your wealth and help it grow.
So before we get too far into it, though, let's kind of set the stage here.
Sure.
We're talking about combining a gold IRA with a traditional IRA.
Okay.
Now, you're probably already pretty familiar with the tax advantages of a traditional IRA.
Right.
But have you ever thought about how those benefits can be even better when you combine them strategically with a gold IRA?
It's a really fascinating concept. And the analysis we're looking at today suggests that this dual approach can be a really powerful tool, especially for those with a lot of assets.
Now, if you're thinking this is all brand new to you and you're wondering how to even get started picking the right gold IRA company, well, we've got something for you.
Yes, we do.
Go on over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
That's right.
For a free checklist, it's packed with tips to help you sort through all the options and choose a company that really fits your goals.
Yeah, that checklist is a great resource, and it goes perfectly with everything we're going to unpack today.
Exactly. So back to this dual IRA strategy.
Okay.
What makes it so good for somebody with, say, like $1 million portfolio?
Well, it all comes down to understanding how each type of IRA plays its own special part in your big retirement plan. Think of it like having different tools in a toolbox.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So the traditional IRA is like your trusty hammer,
Yeah,
solid, reliable, it gets the job done.
absolutely.
What about the gold IRA?
Well, the gold IRA is more like your precision screwdriver.
Okay.
It's there for specific jobs where the hammer just isn't going to cut it.
Okay.
In this case, the job is protecting yourself against inflation.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But how do you decide which tool to use and when?
Well, that's where strategic allocation comes in.
Okay.
Depending on how big your portfolio is, the analysis suggests different ratios for splitting your contributions between your traditional and gold IRAs.
Okay.
So, for example, somebody with a portfolio between $1 and $2 million might shoot for a 70-30 split.
Okay.
70% in their traditional IRA, 30% in their gold IRA.
Gotcha.
This gives them a good balance of tax efficiency and inflation protection.
So as your portfolio gets bigger, that allocation changes.
Exactly. If you've got a portfolio between 2 and 5 million, the suggested allocation changes to a 60-40 split.
Okay.
Favoring the traditional IRA a little less and putting more into the gold IRA.
Makes sense.
And as you get closer to that 5 million mark and beyond, you might even go 50-50 or even more towards the gold IRA, really focusing on preserving that wealth.
So the idea is the bigger your portfolio, the more important that protection from inflation becomes.
Exactly. We're talking about protecting your hard-earned wealth, not just for you, but for your family too.
Right.
And that brings us to another really interesting part of this dual IRA strategy, the potential tax advantages.
Ah, yes. Everybody loves a good tax break.
Right.
What are we talking about here?
Well, one technique this analysis talks about is called tax loss harvesting.
Okay.
Basically, you can use changes in the market to offset gains in one IRA with losses in the other.
Okay.
So let's say your stocks in your traditional IRA take a hit and go down 10%.
Okay.
But at the same time, the price of gold in your gold IRA goes up 5%.
Okay.
By selling some of those stocks that went down, you can offset the gains you made in your gold IRA, potentially saving thousands in taxes.
So you're using the losses in one account to balance out the gains in the other.
Exactly.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, it is.
But wouldn't you need to really understand both markets to do that right?
You're absolutely right. It's an advanced strategy that needs careful planning and a good understanding of how the markets work.
Right.
And this is where having a skilled financial advisor who understands both traditional investments and precious metals can be incredibly valuable.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
Somebody who can really kind of
Guide you through it.
guide you through it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it sounds like this dual IRA strategy is really all about being proactive and strategic with your retirement savings.
Absolutely. It's not just about putting money away. It's about actively managing those funds to get the most out of them.
Right. And making sure that it grows.
Exactly.
And that brings us to another point that's important.
Yeah.
We've talked about financial advisors.
Right.
You also want to make sure you've got a good tax professional on your team.
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody who can help you navigate all the ins and outs of tax loss, harvesting, and all those other strategies.
Yeah, they can be a lifesaver when it comes to tax time, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, and let's not forget about estate planning. I know
Oops.
it's not always the most fun thing to think about,
Right.
but making sure your wealth goes to your loved ones in a way that's tax efficient and matches your wishes is really important.
Couldn't agree more. And this is where gold IRAs can really shine. They offer some unique advantages that you just don't get with traditional IRAs.
Oh, really? Tell me more about that.
Well, one of the big things with the gold IRA is that you can pass on actual physical precious metals directly to your beneficiaries.
Hmm.
With a traditional IRA, your heirs usually get distributions in cash, which can be affected by market changes and potentially lose value.
Right.
But with a gold IRA, you're giving them something tangible, something with real value that has historically held up well even when the economy is uncertain.
So it's like giving them a piece of financial security that's not tied to the ups and downs of the stock market.
That's a great way to put it. And that peace of mind, knowing that you've provided for your loved ones in a way that can handle anything, is priceless.
Absolutely. This is all incredibly fascinating, but I gotta say, I can imagine some folks might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now.
Sure,
I mean, we've covered a lot,
we have.
from strategic allocation to tax loss harvesting to estate planning benefits.
That's right.
Where does someone even begin to put all this into action?
That's a great question, and it's completely understandable to feel a bit overwhelmed. The key is to take it one step at a time.
Okay.
The first step is to take stock of your current financial situation.
Okay.
Look at your portfolio. How much do you have in your traditional IRA? Are you holding any precious metals right now?
Good point. It's like taking inventory before you go grocery shopping. You got to know what you already have before you can figure out what you need.
Exactly. Once you have a clear picture of where you stand financially, the next step is to figure out your goals.
Okay.
What are your priorities for retirement? Are you mainly focused on saving on taxes?
Right.
Is protecting your wealth from inflation your top concern? Or maybe you're most worried about making sure your wealth is passed on smoothly to your beneficiaries.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I imagine those goals might even change over time as your circumstances change.
Absolutely. Life's always changing, and your financial plan needs to be flexible too. That's why it's so important to have a team of professionals who can help you through those changes and adjust your strategy as needed.
Okay.
They can help you navigate the complexities of gold IRAs, estate planning, and tax optimization.
Okay. So we've assessed our current situation, we've defined our goals, and we've got our team of experts. What's next?
Now it's time to start exploring your options and developing a personalized plan.
Okay.
That might mean opening a gold IRA if you don't already have one, and then strategically allocating your retirement savings between your traditional and gold IRAs based on your risk tolerance and long-term goals.
Right. And this is where that free checklist we mentioned earlier can really come in handy.
Absolutely. If you're feeling a bit lost or unsure about where to turn for guidance, that checklist is a fantastic resource. It can help you find reputable gold IRA companies, connect with experienced professionals, and start building a solid foundation for your retirement plan. You can find it at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
It's like having a roadmap to navigate the world of gold IRAs. It can make the whole process feel a lot less daunting.
Yeah, for sure.
But even with a roadmap, having a knowledgeable guide by your side can make the journey smoother and more enjoyable.
I completely agree. Building a secure retirement is a team effort. You don't have to go it alone.
It's pretty amazing how something like a gold IRA, might have seemed like a specialized tool at first,
Right.
can actually become a really important part of a well-rounded retirement strategy.
It's all about recognizing its strengths and how it can fit in with your existing retirement plan.
Right.
We've seen how it can protect against inflation, offer tax diversification benefits, and even help with estate planning.
Yeah, it's like having an extra layer of protection and flexibility built right into your retirement savings. It's
Absolutely.
about taking control, being proactive,
Right.
instead of just hoping for the best.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And one thing that really stands out to me from this analysis is the focus on thinking long term.
Yeah.
It's not about trying to get rich quick. It's about building a solid foundation for real financial well-being.
That long-term perspective is so important, especially when we're talking about retirement planning.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're not just talking about the next few years.
Right.
We're talking about potentially decades of financial security and peace of mind.
Exactly. And a gold IRA, with its history of holding its value, can play a big role in achieving that long-term stability.
One thing we haven't really talked about yet is the psychological side of having some of your retirement savings in physical gold. I imagine that for some people, it can give them a real sense of comfort and tangible security.
That's a really interesting point. I think you're right.
Yeah.
In times when the economy is uncertain, knowing you have something real, something with value that's not tied to the stock market can be really reassuring.
Yeah, it's like having a safety net you can actually see and touch.
Right.
It's not just numbers on a screen, it's a physical representation of your hard work and your commitment to a secure future.
It is pretty fascinating how something like gold can have such a big psychological impact.
Yeah,
I think it speaks to that need we all have for financial security.
absolutely. It's not just about the numbers, it's about feeling confident and in control of your financial future.
Exactly. And that feeling of empowerment is so valuable, especially when it comes to retirement planning.
Right.
There's so much information out there, so many strategies and opinions. It can be overwhelming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's easy to get lost in all the financial jargon and conflicting advice.
Yeah.
But I think this deep dive has given us some really helpful insights and practical steps
Right.
that anyone can use to start building a more secure retirement.
I hope so. And remember, even if you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed, you're not alone.
Yeah,
There are resources out there, like that free checklist we talked about,
right.
to help you get started. It can point you in the right direction, toward the right information, the right professionals, and the right strategies for you.
It's like having a compass to guide you through the financial wilderness.
Exactly.
And that compass is available to everyone who's ready to take that first step. You can find it at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. Don't let fear or uncertainties stop you from taking control of your financial future.
That's a great way to put it. Knowledge is power, and taking action is how you unlock your full financial potential.
Well said. It's been a really interesting journey exploring the world of gold IRAs and how they fit into a solid retirement strategy.
Yeah, it has.
We hope you've learned some valuable stuff today and feel ready to take action.
We do.
Remember, your retirement is your own. There's no one right way to do it.
That's right.
But by taking the time to learn the rubbers, define your goals, and get expert advice,
Right.
you can create a retirement plan that really works for you
Absolutely.
and gives you that lasting financial security.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
We'll see you next time for another exciting exploration